And welcome back to the Ref Show. We have Mark Lawrenson with us this week. We also have our resident expert, Keith Hackett. And we promised you that we'd talk about the lack of, if indeed it is a criticism, there's no foreign influence within the refereeing setup either on or off the field in this country when we have so many foreign managers and players. What do you make of that, Mark?
Well, you know, I do loads of Champions League games, and I have to say, sometimes you look at the country where the referee's from and it's wrong, and you think, oh, he's Latvian, he must be absolutely hopeless. Some of them are actually very, very good. So I don't know logistically whether it could work to bring them to the Premier League. It would be very, very interesting. But then, of course, the first thing is they all have to speak perfect English, do they not? Otherwise, you only need one mistake where a ref has a wrong interpretation and then
But
gloves are
Mark,
off.
they have to in major tournaments anyway. That's a requirement,
there you
isn't
go
it,
then.
they're speaking? So there's plenty of available talent, Keith. What do you make of it? I know you were an advocate when you were PGMO general manager.
Yeah, well, I was, and still am today. I think that we see the Premier League as the best league in the world. Everybody tells us that. It has high-quality players, lots from overseas. Many have added, obviously, to that quality. And I think the same would apply with refereeing. I think that we look, at the moment, they're struggling. We've got a handful of top-quality referees who've suddenly found form and refereeing well. But there have been periods over the last 2 or 3 years when you've wanted to say what's happening. And the reason is lack of quality. Nobody's coming through from the Football League, so succession planning doesn't appear to be working. So it's my view that we should take that opportunity of saying, right, okay, we'll bring you in. And of course, you know, when you look at the American referees on the MLS, they're flying, taking 3 days.
Yeah, sure.
You know, it's no different. We can get on a plane in 2.5, 3 hours. We can pick any referee in Europe.
And our guys are already refereeing foreign players and different cultures involved already. So having foreign referees in, you know, you'd think it would, or even coaches as well, maybe even a
Listen, I
scope for that.
think it's like anything in life, especially across Europe, because you can work anywhere. The Treaty of Rome and all that stuff. Not wishing to bore anybody, but you know, I think Keith's absolutely right. Flight from mainland Europe, 1.5 hours, 2 hours. Better than being on the M6 or the M1.
Absolutely.
Is it not? So yeah, you know, go for it. As far, and we have foreign absolutely everything else in football, so owners even. Yeah. So I think big thumbs up.
Yeah, it's going to happen, isn't it, eventually?
Oh, yeah.
It's bound to. Let's come back to home and back to grassroots. The FA launched their Respect campaign, much trumpeted at the time, in 2008. That's 8 years ago now, and sometimes incidents arise that make you wonder whether it's had any effect at all. A few days ago, You Are the Ref highlighted a strong complaint about conduct in an under-15s game, particularly involving a team from Derbyshire. And it wasn't about the conduct of the under-15 players, it was about the certainly over 15, I don't know what age they were, adult coaches on the line. The FA are investigating. They were very, very prompt, Keith, weren't they? They reacted instantly.
I thought it was tremendous how quick they did react. And I'd like to think that every county FA would do the same in protecting referees. It is a problem. You know, the fact that parents get excited because their kids are playing and they want to be a little bit like, you know, everything that they weren't, they want their child to be. And then, of course, they want the frustration or take it out of the young developing referee. And he is developing because often they're learning their trade as well.
Has any progress been made on this, do you think?
No, I don't think it has. I think in a slightly different way, my lad's 16, he plays rugby union, and man, the respect is unbelievable to the referee. Absolutely unbelievable. First of all, you've got to call him sir, and as soon as he makes a decision, that is it. You can say, are you sure about that, sir? But, you know, unlike football, but we're a million miles away, absolutely, totally. And the other thing, it comes down to bullying. If you think about it, if you've got a young refereeing at that level and he's getting absolutely slaughtered by everybody, it's tantamount to bullying.
Well, this referee is 17 years of age. It was his father who raised the complaint. The referee's name's Jake Nicholson. His father, Steve Nicholson, brought it to the attention of the Derbyshire FA, and he brought it to our attention as well.
I wonder how many referees of that age actually pack in.
A lot.
Because of it, I would have thought it's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, there's no question. I mean, you know, we ourselves support Don't Cross the Line. The Mal Lee in Liverpool came up with these posts and tape, and that's had a big impact. It's had a positive impact on just holding the parents back. But I mean, I was involved a couple of years ago at Stocksbridge, where my grandson was playing, and the coach of the opposition came on and absolutely berated and bullied the referee to the extent that the referee was in tears. We can't allow that to go on. So I think that the FA have got to reinforce through either suspension or education. Education doesn't appear to be working, but at the end of the day, they give all these standards and marks and awards to clubs. Let's protect the referees.
And the education thing is you're actually not having to educate the kids. It's the adults. How mad is that?
Yeah. Again, on one good positive point, and there is a model that actually works. In Liverpool, they have Liverpool have the referees academy, and that's where young referees come in, referee academy players, and they're protected. The players are better disciplined, of course, and that, if you like, gives them that encouragement of enjoying the game as a young referee, becoming more competent, and in fact then release them to the game in the local park.
Mentioning Don't Cross the Line, Mal Lee's great campaign from over your neck of the woods, over the Pennines there, is fantastic. There is an awareness, respect, a referee awareness weekend, to give its proper title, in the middle of March. So do fully support that. And just finally, on this particular topic that we raised, there are some learning points for a young referee. It's not, you know, that he could have actually clamped down on this. I mean, the FA responded swiftly, showing that if there's a report to them, they will act. What do you think the referee in this case could have learned? Because he let this go unchecked.
You cannot let it go unchecked. I mean, ultimately, the law supports him. You've got to have a bit of courage. But he should have gone across and had a word with the guy, or whoever it was, and said, look, calm down. If you're not, I'm going to report you to the FA. Make no mistake, I'm going to report you. Then, believe it or not, he has the ultimate sanction. This guy can say, I now want you to leave this field. And if you're in a local park, I want you to leave the park. That's all part of what's available to him.
That'd be brave, though.
Yeah, well...
And, because I'm not saying in this instance, but general instances, physical threat then becomes part of it.
Correct.
This is sub judice. We talked about it generally, FA investigation going on. Just finally, what you welcome, Lauro, the back chat element for referees. We had the Martin Atkinson, Phil Jagielka arrogant episode just over a week ago. Then I noted that Norwich manager Alex Neil said that referee Kevin Friend told him, yeah, it's my fault you lost the game. This was after Norwich lost 3-0 at home to Spurs. You like that?
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely. Do we know if Alex Neil then replied to him after that? I suggest he didn't, because where do you go? Yeah. He might have actually gone off Monday and going, you're right, but just don't tell Delia.
But managers and players are coming out with this as if it's, you know, a criticism of the referee, and you're saying far from it. And then we also had Arsene Wenger was very annoyed with Lee Mason after Arsenal's 0-0 with Southampton. Ronald Koeman stepped in and said to Wenger, quoting, you had 10 chances to score, instead you take it out on them, the officials.
No, he's absolutely right. That was also, which didn't help Wenger that weekend, all the other teams at the top of the league won. And his was the only, so his head was boiling money. But good old Ronald Koeman, yeah.
We want referees to communicate. Yeah. And communication isn't about a threat of, next time I'm going to caution you, or next time I'm going to send you off, all that. It's part and parcel of the game. I mean, I used to sometimes run alongside players and say, wow, that's fantastic. You know, you'd see a pass, you'd see a tackle, you'd see a phase of play, and you'd just go, fantastic.
Didn't we have an incident a few years ago where one of the referees clapped a goal?
Yeah. Yes, it did. Yeah,
but he obviously just thought it was...
It was Mike Reid.
Mike Reid.
He did this.
Birmingham.
Well, fine.
He'd applied an advantage.
Just hope he hadn't had a massive bet on the game, but absolutely fine, because you're going... He then was just he was on the pitch, but
and
as
Mike
a supporter.
And Mike Dean as well this season.
Mike Dean's done it.
Well, I think it's funny. I think it's fine.
Yeah. Well, players and managers dish it out.
Human.
They should be able to take it, shouldn't they?
Of course they can take it. Well, nearly all managers have played, and if you can't take any stick, Mickey taking whatever, you would never ever be a professional footballer.
These are very pathetic and petty complaints that people are making, aren't they, really? Yeah, well, it's great to have your company again, Laura. We hope to see you again soon. Keith Hackett, as ever, many thanks. And to you, thank you for watching. And don't forget, we're always alive to anything you want to raise with us, any queries, any questions, any comments at youaretheref.com. Meantime, look forward to your company again in a week's time. See you then. Bye.